Alright guys, this is my 2014 Harley Davidson Street Glide. I already have an air suspension on here. I purchased this bike not too long ago. I'm trying to do a couple upgrades to it and want to track it. Figured I'd post them on YouTube. The next thing I'm going to do is actually lower this motorcycle about an inch. Even though I have air ride, not a super tall guy, and for me to have a comfortable ride with the air suspension lifted on here, when I come to stoplights, I'm not getting flat-footed. So I want to be able to raise the suspension to a comfortable riding position while I'm still flat-footed and get that nice, good quality ride down the road. So what I'm going to do is show you guys how I put on a lowering kit with the air ride and give you an honest review about it. Alright, so this is the package the lowering kit came in. This is a cheap kit from Amazon. It is pretty simple. I've done this on previous Harleys that I've had. They were road glides, but it's going to be the same deal. So go ahead and tear into it. Try to. These packages are tough, huh?
Plastic.
You want me to cut it open?
Original. Okay. And the two brackets.
Okay. Let's put them on.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to take the saddlebags off first. We'll pull up on this lever, flip this over. There's two little keys inside of here. So flip this tab up. Flip that one up. So grab that one and turn it this way. Look, I'll show you. Watch what I do right here. Okay, twist it. Do that to this one. Twist it.
Which way?
That way.
This is hard.
Keep going. Okay. Came out.
Yeah.
Just drop it in here. You don't want to lose them. Take the washers. Okay. And then we'll just move this up. Lock it down. Lift it off. Set this down over here on the towel. And make sure that's fine. What you beat. I got it. We'll set that right here. Make sure they don't get scratched up.
It's pretty cool seeing like the belt and stuff.
That's the belt drive.
Yeah.
So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright guys, so here's a problem I ran into. It's a lowering bracket. I'm on the right side of the motorcycle if you're facing forward. This bracket mounts right here. Okay? My airline was originally run on this side. So this line ran out this way, up through here. It was zip tied. I cut those off. Because with that airline facing this way, it was going to hit on this for sure. Now I flipped it over on the other side and I'll tighten that up. But even still, if I put this right here, I'm right on the edge. It's going to be touching that as I raise and lower the bike. I just have this kind of sitting out here, so you have to forgive me. Alright folks, so it took me a little while, test fitting, etc. I still need to button up these lines here. I'll get there. I played with the spacing for the lowering bracket to make sure I have clearance here. I've ran the jack up and down. I've got no air pressure in the shocks right now, so I'm able to freely move the rear tire. This is going to be the solution, and I've test fitted the saddlebags too. What I tried previously to space out the top to be in straight alignment with the bottom, I couldn't fit the saddlebags. I was just kind of digging through nuts and bolts and what have you. So here's my solution. This is what you would normally do in the kit. Lock washer, washer, that goes straight into here. What I'm doing for clearance over here, like hopefully I described well enough in the previous little clip that I took, is I'm going to take this nice thick washer, I'm going to put it on the inside here, and then I'm going to put this in. And what that's going to do is it's going to space this bracket out far enough to give me clearance here for this to move up and down as the bike goes up and down. So I'm going to go ahead and get some Loctite, put this thing on one last go around. Y'all don't want to see all the test fitting and stuff that I had to do, so I took that off camera and I figure I'll just make it work. So I've got the big spacer in here to give me the clearance that I need, and I've already tested it. The saddlebags will fit. It's going to be tight, you know, it's going to be real tight right here, but the shock piston moves up inside of this cylinder, so this is going to basically be resting against the inside of my saddlebag. I'm okay with that. Completely okay with that. So let's start tightening things up here. I don't know, I think it was 40 to something foot-pounds. You know how it goes. Consult your owner's manual, right? Somewhere between tight and I don't know, use your imagination. I call it somewhere between tight and freaking tight. So we'll call that good. Got some Loctite on that bad boy. So I'm going to use the bottom hole, or the first hole right here. I know these are nylocks. Won't be a problem. And then I'll go ahead and zip tie up my airlines. Make sure I got good clearance for everything after the fact. So we'll get everything placed where it needs to be. And then I'll snug these guys down and lower my jack a little bit. Work smarter. There we go. Oop. Yeah, I went a little low. So I know that my shock mount's going to be a little offset towards the inside, towards the frame compared to the rear. It's going to be pushed a little bit outboard, if you will. But I'm not going to worry about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the other side to be exactly the same. I don't want this to be any different than the other side. Let me try and lower this guy down and give myself a little more room here. No, wrong way. Let me go up some. Give me some room to get the ratchet in here. Alright. Okay. So, got this side snugged up. Ooh, actually, I probably should have done this in a different order. Where are you guys at when I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong? Because we want this to be set all the way down against the push down that guy. We want this to be set all the way down in place. Make sure it's good. Okay. All right. So our bracket here is snugged up where it needs to be. From your angle, it's going to be hard to tell. I don't actually think I'm going to hit these cooling vanes on the compressor. I've got I'll call it 1/8 of an inch there between the lowering bracket and the compressor. If it turns out to be a problem, I can always just take a cut-off wheel and cut this down here. My preference would be to leave this piece solid, just for strength, you know. I don't want to cut these holes in half or anything. I'd prefer to keep that for strength. So, button this side up. I'm going to go ahead and put the saddlebags back on over here. Man, somebody's mistreated this thing. It's all hidden. Take care of that later. Whew, polishing all this chrome. Honestly, this bike needs some love. It's a good bike, but man, it needs some love. All right, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to space the rear out exactly the same as I did on this side, so it's the same on both. All right, folks. Let's see if we can knock this side out here. This should not be as difficult as the other side is, as I've done this before without without the air ride problems that I had to deal with on the other side. My only concern here is to make sure that I do it exactly the same. With the spacing on the lower rear, like I did previous. Okay, I think we're squared away. We'll get after it. I got the other side zip tied up. Those air lines that I talked about just a little bit ago. Let's not forget the handy dandy Loctite. Can't go wrong. So like I said, I'm going to space this one out the exact same as I got the other side, because I don't want any misalignment situations going on here. So go ahead and tighten this one up. It'll be a little easier than the other side because it's going to tighten in the direction that I want it to. If I could get my air shock out of the way. Alright, I'll call that good. Okay, for the lower. Let me grab the lock nut here. Okay. So we'll go through here, I'll put it in loosely. And we'll snug up the top. And that's about as simple as it's gonna get, folks. This is as easy as it would be if you didn't have to deal with the air ride. Alright. There you have it. That's as easy as it's supposed to be. Not always as easy as it turns out to be. Okay, alright. I think everything looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and drop this rear tire down all the way. how we're looking. Not too shabby. And actually push it all the way down. As I expected. You might be able to see, let me check. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more. You can see that this bolt here is very, very close to hitting the exhaust. It was extremely close before when the air ride was laid out, or when the suspension was all the way up, I guess I should say. But again, not something I'm concerned about. It's not going to puncture it. I'm going to be changing out this exhaust. I've actually got the box over there. So stay tuned for that video. And I'm going to be upgrading the headlight to an LED headlight here as well. So we're all set. I think that's going to wrap this up. I'm going to put the bags back on. I'll give you a walk around real quick, and that'll be the end of it. All right, I wanted to make one more clip here to show this lowering kit. So my air suspension is all the way up right now, and it's just a touch too tall still for my liking, but I'm not a tall guy. So I don't typically ride with the suspension aired up all the way. I get it pretty close, so I'll take it all the way up and then drop it down. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this comparison here. You might be able to see the distance to the ground here. I don't know. Not quite to my wrist, but it's a pretty good distance there. And then I'll lay it out. Let you see what that looks like. You can see now it's pretty far down there. I'm shopping around for some extended bags. I'm looking for about 5-inch extended bags, but for comparison, the exhaust sits down there pretty low. One of my other videos I was talking about swapping out the exhaust here, the Vance & Hines I put on this megaphone style exhaust. I do like it. It's difficult to film black. I do like the exhaust. I like the sound of it, especially at low RPMs. I do prefer the Vance & Hines sound at higher RPMs when I'm really getting on it. But I don't ride it that hard that often. Occasionally, you can't resist. You want to get on it some. But so I'm not going to sell the other exhaust. I'm going to keep them both in case I feel like swapping it out. But I do want to add some extended bags. Definitely do custom dynamics lights. I got a lot of ideas for lights. I'd like the bag lights. I'd like to remove the factory turn signals, get their license plate, get the Pro Beam bottom lights, the antenna marker lights, or the plug lights, the saddlebag lights, the front fork lights, and definitely the front turn signal lights. But that's it. I wanted to be able to wrap up the video and show what it looks like after the lowering kit. It's probably going to be hard to tell in the video, but I do like it. I like it a lot. I'm not going to move it any lower. I think that tire is very close to rubbing on the fender when it's laid out. So that's that. Thanks for watching.